Welcome back to the Molloy Twins podcast, and today we're joined by fighter, father and future 1FC champ, Craig Coakley. Craig, thanks for coming down, man. And Dylan, thanks for bringing him down.
The driver,
chauffeur, yeah.
Invoice one for the diesel money, yeah.
Don't tell anyone.
We got to kick off with a bit of quick fire from Lee.
Yeah, so Craig, where'd you grow up?
Inner city Dublin 1, a place called Liberty House. A lot of people mistake it for the Liberties. It's not the Liberties,
Right.
It's the north side of Dublin. It's very close to Coakley Station.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And who was your favourite fighter or sports figure when you were growing up?
I wasn't that interested in fighting when I was really young. I was, as Dylan says, I was more of a Power Ranger. I was more of a Power Ranger. Loved Power Rangers, loved Ninja Turtles.
Who was your favourite turtle?
Raphael.
Yeah.
Is that the red one or?
It's the red one, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Well, I think it is anyway. The White Ranger was my favourite.
The
Power
White Ranger?
Yeah.
Why is that not your fight now?
The White Ranger.
Yeah.
Craig, the White Ranger.
People probably think it's a little bit rags.
You don't get away with that nowadays, yeah?
It's not PG enough, not PG.
Never know these days.
So, what's your earliest memory of fighting then?
I was thrown into a boxing club when I was about 8, I'd say. Got slapped around by a lot of people that day. That would have been probably my earliest.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No street fights or anything like that?
Yeah, well, kind of. Growing up in the area I grew up in, you would have been you would have fought often.
Yeah.
I was a little bit of a soft kid. I tried to avoid confrontation as much as I possibly could. But I got into quite a few street fights as well, but not major, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like everywhere, I'd say.
So it happens everywhere, doesn't
It
it?
does, yeah,
Ah, yeah,
especially
away
Dublin,
from it,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Dublin's one of them places.
What do you think you'd be if you weren't a fighter?
Chef, probably.
Really?
No way.
Cooking, yeah. I was actually, when I was 16, I was going to do a culinary course.
Sick.
And they wouldn't let me do it because you had to use alcohol and knives, and you couldn't do it unless you were 18. So I went and joined the gym. That's serious. That's true.
Oh,
I
right.
went and joined the gym.
That's
Yeah.
mad. If you had to make a meal to impress the missus, then what would you be cooking at?
We make a bit of soup and tough, steak, prawns and chips, a few onion rings.
Cultured, man.
Very,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
That's mad.
Respect it, yeah.
We're sitting across from a fighter. It could have been like the Irish Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah,
If they had it, just like
who knows? Maybe in a few years' time after the fight, we might open a restaurant.
Deadly. With the boxing, then you said that's where you first got kind of thrown into the ring and got a few slaps and stuff like that. Was it something that, from the first moment, maybe after the slaps died down, you like fell in love with it, or did it take a bit of time?
A lot of time you hear people say, "Oh, I knew this was me calling.
Yeah.
And I was born to do this." So I didn't think if anything, I would have been the complete opposite. I never thought I would have been a fighter. I kind of fell into it. Do you know what I mean? I boxed when I was really young. I didn't really like boxing because, like, when you're in a boxing gym, especially old school boxing gyms, you're kind of just told, right, go on the bag, shadow box, spar.
Yeah.
There's no one telling you, right, turn your hand out, that might connect better, or drop your weight. Like, it's only if you're really good when you walk into a boxing gym that you get attention off a coach. Do you know what I mean? Which is fair because they probably deal with about 50 kids a day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I didn't like it at all. Ended up leaving. Went off fucking for a couple of years, done nothing. Kind of just potted around the flats, lived in the flats for a while. Start jiu-jitsu, and that's kind of where I found me love for martial arts, I'd say. You know what I mean? When I started jiu-jitsu.
What age would that have been when you...
About 16.
Okay,
I joined
right.
the jiu-jitsu gym after when I didn't get into the course, like.
Oh, okay, right. So up until the age of 16, you were kind of in a stage of like not really knowing.
The flats played and.
That's mad, because
Yeah,
usually in
dope.
like the sports you're in, especially, you hear some people are like at it from literally second they're walking.
And out of Wilm. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Especially toys. Over in Thailand,
Yeah.
like, 4 fights. They're fighting at 4 to 8, like, you know what I mean? But I find then a lot of fighters be burnt out by the time they're 20. You know what I mean? So it's a double-edged sword. If you start a little bit later, your body's a little bit fresher, you're not as burnt out. You start a little bit younger, you might progress a little bit faster, but you're going to burn out quicker. So which way do you want? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And even like Muay Thai is still like a relatively like underappreciated sport in Ireland. But I say when you started it was even more so. Like if I said to my nanny, we have a Muay Thai fighter coming on the podcast. What's a Muay Thai fighter?
Yeah.
How would you explain Muay Thai to someone who hasn't got a clue
So
what that is?
for the average fan will say it's just striking. So the average MMA fan, they want to see is striking.
Yeah.
When it goes to the ground, they're like, that's boy, them two hugging or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Now, I was the opposite. I got into jiu-jitsu, and then from jiu-jitsu, I wanted to learn how to strike. But to the average fan, it'd be MMA without grappling, we'll say.
Punches, kicks, elbows,
all the
knees.
fun stuff.
Clinch as well, sweeps, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sick.
It's
I'm
all the dirty
curious.
stuff,
Yeah, all that stuff that gets you cut open.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's a more brutal sport, to be fair.
Oh yeah, I'd say the lifespan on a Muay Thai.
not, yeah, it does not.
Make your money and get out.
For you,
anyways.
as someone who only started then really finding, let's say, a passion for fighting and stuff at the age of 16 onwards, like what do you, I might be wrong saying this, but like Craig Coakley is probably one of, if not the most well-known names in Irish martial arts, and especially in Muay Thai. It's like, I'm sure there's tons of people who are in Muay Thai or fighting from much younger than you who didn't get anywhere near to the levels that you were at. Like, what do you think helped you kind of
Probably me
catch up
background,
and
to be honest
progress,
with you. Like that, coming from like an area that I grew up in, it is a rough enough area, and you would get into a lot of fights. So I did get me, and especially, I'd say I was a little bit of a weirdo because I was a bit of a Power Ranger. I'd be running around with a flats with a blade and sword. You know what I mean? So a lot of people be like just starting on me. You know what I mean? And from there, it went from me being a little bit of a weirdo to probably progressing into a bully. Then, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Trying to defend myself an awful lot, but then going to the opposite, probably starting on people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then obviously wanting to know how to defend myself more and more and more.
Makes sense.
would you have found that you were getting picked on?
When I was a
Much-
kid, I would have
yeah,
got
yeah.
picked on quite a bit, but then, like, as
It
it says, the law
flips, yeah.
switched. I kind of turned into a bit of a bully then, a little bit later, and then when I found martial arts, that was it.
Yeah.
Did that even you out like a little bit, almost like going from bully, then you learned martial arts, let's say, and then it
you
kind
know
of,
how to defend
then you know,
yourself,
so you don't
know
have
what I mean?
to.
So you don't have to do anything.
It's weird how that works, isn't it? You always hear people saying it, like if you want to stop bullying in schools or stuff, the best way to do it is teach people how to fight and teach them how to defend themselves. And it sounds like counterintuitive because you think if everyone knew how to fight, they'd be battering everybody. Yeah.
No, complete opposite. Because you know how deadly you can be then. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can actually really hurt someone that doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing. To some people, it could be, do you know what I mean? But
In the right hands. It's
exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely. Something for anyone who is listening, they wouldn't know this, but I'm actually mates with Senan, and it was from talking to Senan that I got to know you. And Senan obviously spoke very highly of you, but of all his brothers and the ma and dad, like you seem like a very close knit family.
yeah, no, we're very, very close. So that's who got me in. When I started kind of falling off and becoming a little bit of a bully, we'll say, my older brother, he used to do boxing and he then went on into do jiu-jitsu. He says to me, he was like what you doing? You're just sitting around the flats acting the fool. Like, stop, come to a gym with me. So like that thick head, and I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? You know what I mean? And went up, got wrapped in a ball. I was like, right, I'm not that big, you know what I mean? But yeah, Lee was the one that got me into it, and then from there, when my ma had Sam was the youngest, so my ma was kind of like, keep him away from everything. Like, my ma moved out of town and all by then.
Right.
We moved out to Cabra when I was about 16, probably a little bit later. Well, probably, no, a little bit before that. I think about 12. My mum moved out of town because of me and my older brother were constantly getting into trouble. She was like, right, take them out of the area, I'd keep them away from me, but I didn't. We just kind of got the bus back into town. All our family still lived there, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my mum tried to keep him as secluded as possible, do you know what I mean? But like that, he was getting bullied in Cabra then. And I was like, you have to let this shump go to a gym. He has to be able to learn how to defend himself, you know what I mean? And then from there, Senan, to be honest, has some serious potential. He could go all the way if he sticks his head the way, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you, I'm sure you work as a PT as well, doing coaching with people. How much of it do you find, for the people who get to like the higher levels of the sport, how much of it is like just pure skill and how much of it is just willingness to keep on showing up?
Dedication is more than skill.
Yeah.
Like, you probably know the quote, what was it?
That one, like hard work beats
Hard
talent.
work beats talent when talent fails to work hard.
Yeah.
Like, that is as true as it gets. Like, so when I joined Thai boxing, not jiu-jitsu, I joined with my best mate James, but he was very, very talented. He was one of these, he'd be watching YouTube clips and he'd be doing spinning kicks the next day, do you know what I mean? Like, he just picked stuff up so fast. But I was the opposite. I was a grafter. I didn't really get things that fast. I just like to work it, do you know what I mean? Worked it. But like that, if you can be consistent with something, you're going to get better at it. And the more consistent you are, the better you're gonna get, obviously. So consistency all day. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can be as talented as possible, but if you're not in a gym, what does it matter?
When you started then with the jiu-jitsu when you were about 16, was it from 16 up until now you've been
Up
like
until
consistent?
18, no, I didn't keep going jiu-jitsu. When I hit about 18, I was getting very serious where I wanted to fight MMA. My
Right.
coach at the time was like, why don't you work on your striking a little bit? So I was like, okay. Me mate at the time lived around the corner from this little gym. We'd always walk by the gym and all you'd hear was clack.
What the fuck's going on in there?
Like, you know what I mean? So popped the head in one day and just seeing a lot of people hitting bags, like, right, we'll try this out, this could be good. And I absolutely fell in love with Muay Thai.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, like, fell in
That
love
was
with
it.
Muay Thai. That was it.
It's weird because like jiu-jitsu, I mean, they're not completely different. Like they're martial arts, but like jiu-jitsu is obviously no striking, and to go from doing that fully into Muay Thai, like just complete away from it.
Just getting absolutely smashed up.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, to be honest though, I've actually picked up more injuries doing jiu-jitsu than I have in Muay Thai.
No way.
It's just from like, you'd be in awkward positions, you know what I mean? You try to get out of the awkward position and you jar your elbow or something, you know what I mean? Like, so I've always, like, when I've done jiu-jitsu, that's why I stopped doing jiu-jitsu. Right. Because, like, I'd be getting fights with the Thai and I'd end up jarring an elbow, so I'd be like, right, I can't play and throw right hand for a week, do you know what I mean? So I stopped doing that, and then obviously my career started progressing in Muay Thai, so I was like, right, I'm not going to do that.
Did you feel like you hit your groove in Muay Thai? Like, did it feel like that stuff came more naturally to you, or you were?
No, not necessarily, to be honest. Like the same, like I had the grasp for kind of everything I got, but I liked hard work. Do you know what I mean? Like, I liked to be in the trenches. I liked to I liked to put the effort in, but by no means did I go into the gym and I was the shit straight away. Do you know what I mean?
You had to work your way up.
Had to work hard for what I got. Like, you know what I mean?
You have to earn that title, the White Power Ranger. It's not handed. Still
fighting
for it now.
We might use it.
Next title fight. Which changed it all. Where did you go to school and what were you like as a student then? Because that was in around the time you were kind of fluting about.
Went to school in O'Connell's. Don't know if you know it.
No.
It's a mad old skill, to be honest with you. I wasn't good in school. I didn't really like taking direction off teachers. I ended up leaving before me leaving cert.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, I didn't finish me leaving cert. But I went and done, I was going into a FOSS course, and I ended up finding, I think at the Youth Reach, and the Youth Reach put me on a sports programme, and from there I went on and I was going into college, and then kind of the same thing happened to me in college. When I got into college, the Muay Thai kind of started really taking off on me, so I was like, which one? And my mum always said to me, my mum always used to give it out to me, she'd be like, why the fuck you leave college, Craig? You're thick and all, didn't finish your leaving cert, you got your level 4 in sports and leisure management, and then you go off. I was trying to do my level 6 or my level 5 then, and I left just before that. But now look, you know what I mean, like, it's after paying off in a different way for me.
Yeah. One though, it only makes sense when you look back, doesn't it? At the time,
now
it's just
it makes a lot of sense, but when I was there, everyone was like, "Ah, stupid, why are you doing this? You'll never get a job anywhere." Do you know what I mean?
That's I think Conor McGregor has a similar story, wasn't it? With his whole come up with like leaving his apprenticeship. Did you do any apprenticeships or anything like that?
No, boys, that was absolute dreadful in that as well. My ma's boyfriend is actually a toiler. I have a good one for you. Right?
Your dad's a toiler as well.
Right, so my ma's boyfriend's actually a toiler, right? And he was on a job anyways. He brought me. He'd throw me the few quid for the little weekends work with him, but he used to have me doing all the poxy jobs, so we'd be carrying blade tiles up and down stairs or whatever. So we were in this big gaff, fuck off gaff out of the south side somewhere, I can't remember where it was, but he was like, right, you carried 4 or 5 crates, whatever it might have been, of tiles up to the top for me. Just carrying them up on the last crate, getting the top. It was bollocks there was, Sat down on the bed, fell asleep. The lads come up 3 hours later to find me on the bed asleep, absolute slapped around, was never brought to work again.
P45 the next morning.
You're not getting no apprenticeship here, lad.
Jesus, that's some story. At least look, that's a bit of hope, I suppose, for everyone who's in that phase now of life of like, I don't know what I want to do, where I fit in or where I want to go. To see that actually, do you know what? Sometimes you just need a bit of time, try some shit out, and you'll find your way.
do a few different things, make sure you find the right thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you were at that stage, Greg, like, I know there's going to be a lot of like younger people who watch this and are probably at a stage of life where they might want to go one path and maybe their mom or dad tell them to go down a different way, or, you know, people who think they maybe know better or whatever else are trying to guide them in that direction. When you made the choices to like not continue in college, go in Muay Thai full time, etc., did that come from a place in you that was like, nah, like I feel like Muay Thai is something that I can actually go and do something in, or was it more just like, I don't really enjoy college, like I want to go with what feels right for me and I'll just see what happens?
I was more like I was just trying to do my own thing.
Really,
I am a bit of a flower. I flow through life, if you get me. Do you know what I mean? At the start, like, I'd no direction, I'd no path, I didn't know what I wanted to do, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I wouldn't have said I was very good at many things, do you know what I mean? But I kind of just stuck to kind of trying to, like, I played rugby for a while, I was trying stuff out, do you know what I mean? I was trying stuff out at one stage, but like a 9 to 5 I could never ever see myself doing, and that was just that's what I knew, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather play than sit in the block, do you know what I mean? But however, when I start getting really interested in Thai, that's when I was like, right, this is where I'm going to put all my effort. That would have been around the same time as college, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like that, I'd say to people to try as much as they possibly can, not just like put all their eggs in one basket straight away. I think the school systems in Ireland especially, it's backwards, do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of these, I think they're called educate togethers now. These they're good, you know what I mean? You're not like forced into doing subjects that you don't have to do, do you know what I mean, or that you don't want to do.
Right, yeah.
Like, you're forced, it's more about you learning as a person rather than like there's religion or there's playing geography. Who's gonna use geography? Let's be honest, you know what I mean? Like, unless you're playing, I don't know.
Just getting from the north side to the south side.
Nah, fact. I think both of us agree with you. Like, it's maybe if it was fit for purpose years and decades ago, but nowadays, like, where technology's at and all the rest, like, there's so much shit that you're learning in school that you don't need to know. But, like, all the essential skills of being a person and figuring your shit out in life and all that doesn't touch on it.
None of that. Do you know what I mean?
Ignores it.
Which is backwards, in my opinion.
Big time.
Definitely. So what, was it 18 you started Muay Thai?
Thai about 18, yeah.
What age were you when you had your first fight?
About 3 months later.
Really, yeah? Straight in?
Yeah, straight in. I was like that, I was eager, I showed up every day, and my coach at the time was like, do you want to fight? And I was like, when? You know what I mean?
No?
No, that's what I was kind of like, I'm fighting 3 weeks later. So I was like, okay, let's go. Won my first 3 fights, pretty handy. Fought K1 fight. These were all like me. All your first fights are amateur usually, so you were like head.
Is K1 and Muay Thai the same thing?
No, they're a little bit different. So there's no clinching in K1, and there's no knees to the head. No, there is knees to the head. It's no clinching or no elbows.
Okay.
It's a bit safer.
A little bit, yeah. But sometimes it's more of a faster pace, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'll be like
yeah, I suppose no clinching around.
Sometimes a little bit slower.
Yeah.
More about the beauty, but again, styles that's different people have different styles.
Definitely. And do you remember, like, before that first fight, was there much nerves, or were you just dying to get in?
Still now there's big nerves, you know what I mean? Like, I'd be nervous if I didn't get nervous to get in. But yeah, my first fight I was shitting. Bad, like.
I can only imagine. I've never fought anyone in anything, but even the thought of it, I already feel like the butterflies in your stomach.
It's gone, bleeding, balls in your stomach, you know what I mean? It's bad, it is,
Is there anything you found over your years to, like, help deal with that?
Me personally, I'll, like, sit there and talk to myself. Like,
right,
I sound a little bit weird, but, like, I'll sit there and, like, reaffirm with myself, like, why do you do this? What do you do this for? Remember who you are, remember how good you are. Like, I'll just go through little affirmations with myself, and that'll kind of settle myself a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I'll start pacing around like a mad thing, you know what I mean?
The Power Ranger coming back out again.
And with Muay Thai, is one the biggest promotion for Muay Thai in the world?
Yeah, in the world, it would be, yeah. So there's a couple of promotions. So there's Yokio Muay Thai Grand Prix, Lion Fight, UAM, One Championship. They'd be all the bigger organisations, but all the rest of the organisations wouldn't be paying or wouldn't be giving you the exposure that one is giving you.
I get you. So how long has getting to one been like the goal for you?
A long time now, probably 6 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. To be honest, I've thought I've been ready to fight on one a long time now, but I just didn't have like the push. I'd say they hadn't had any Irish fighters on.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. The exposure for Irish fighters is a little bit different. We've a huge boxing base, you know what I mean, and now it's starting to grow into an MMA base. Yeah. But what Muay Thai is starting to pick up a little bit more now. But when I joined it, like it was unheard of.
Oh yeah, fighting in skilled halls and all that.
Yeah.
Unheard of. Since fighting in skilled halls only 4 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's madness, like.
Because I remember my dad had a mate who done. He always called it Thai boxing. I only found out Muay Thai was a thing. Like
Thai boxing.
Until then, it was Thai boxing. Yeah. But and they used to all call him leg kick. Because that was the only thing about Muay Thai they knew. It's like, oh, you show leg kicks. But I think it was Joe. It was one of those like big MMA heads, anyways, in America, who were saying that Muay Thai is like the most underexploited sport in terms of like it's just so exciting to watch it.
It's crazy. Do you know, personally, I think it's because of like the traditions that they have in it. So like, there's a thing called a Wai Crew, which is a dance that fighters do in the ring before they fight.
Right.
So they go into the ring and it's so homage or respect their trainer.
Okay.
But it's a literal dance. Like they literally dance in the ring before they fight. And then there's the music. The music is like, like, but for the average fan to go in and they see stuff like that, like, what the fuck is going on here? Do you know what I mean? Like this mad music and these lads dancing before they have a knock. Like, what's this happening? Do you know what I mean? Me, I think that's what was holding it back. I think keep tradition fought in Thailand in the stadiums.
Right, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If that's the case.
Yeah.
One, don't do that. So, and in Thai, it's a 5-round fight, but usually the first second is fairly slow. So they won't really fight each other.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
feeling each other out.
Feeling each other out. But when we're saying feeling each other out, you're talking, they're not actually doing anything.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last round of a fight, because they fight so frequently, in the last round of the fight, usually the fighter that won knows he's already won. So he'll just dance the last round.
I get you.
Like quite literally just walk around dancing. Like, do you know what I mean? And that turns people off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me personally, I'd never be able to do that. I'm in there till the end. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to take someone out until the end, whether I'm winning, whether I'm losing.
Yeah. Different mentality, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
They used
crazy.
to do it every other week, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they get a lot of fights.
Is it really that frequent? Yeah.
Like,
It's just like a football.
At least once a month. Yeah, some fighters fight like twice to 3 times a month sometimes.
That's madness.
Like, that's their job. Like,
Yeah, whereas like an MMA fighter might fight twice or 3 times a year.
If you're lucky,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? A year. So
Just goes
that's
to
how
show.
you're weighing her up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And how do one is based in Thailand, is it?
Yeah.
Like, how do they find?
It's based in Singapore, but
Singapore.
they have a lot of they have a frequent show in Thailand, which is one on Lumpini. So it's every Friday they have that show.
Ah, right. Okay.
So every single Friday that'll be on.
That's
Do you know what I
madness.
mean? And that's not their only show.
Yeah.
But the main shows is in Singapore and America.
What did the journey for you look like going from walking in that mad little gym where they're making mad noises when you walk past it to getting signed?
Do you
for
remember the
one
noise?
FC? Like,
Making that tonight when you're at home. Yeah, the journey's been, for me, I've had a great journey, I think, anyways. I've had 4 amateur fights, so my first 3 fights were Thai, 4th fight was K1. I won my first 3 fights, I lost my 4th fight. After that one, I was against someone we played in a ridiculous amount of fights as well.
Yeah.
But my coach thought, so there's 3 stages also in Thai when you go pro. So I went pro, but the 4th stage is C class.
right.
So it's 3 rounds. There's no knees to the head, no elbows. So usually I have a couple of fights at C class, you'll go B class then.
Okay.
Which is no elbows, knees to the face, 5 rounds, 1.5 minutes for the round, or 2 minutes for a round. And then A class is full Thai rules, which is elbows, knees to the head, 3 minutes,
All in,
5 rounds. I think I had 2 C class fights, about 3 B class fights, which is like moving very fast.
Yeah.
And then straight into A class. I fought, I think, my first A class fight was against like someone that had only fought for an Irish title, and I stopped him in, I think, the 1st round. Then I was kind of calling for title shots, but I never actually got an Irish title.
Right.
I've never fought for an Irish title. 1 or 2 reasons. One was a promoter, an Irish promoter.
It's always some political bollocks, isn't it?
It's heavy, do you know what I mean? But everybody at the weight I was at was in that promoter's gym.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously he was like, no way,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
keep
Keep him
the
away.
Yeah.
So I've actually never won an Irish title, but I got my first fight. So when me and my girlfriend were having our first girl, I got called to fight on a show called Yokko.
Okay.
Which is one of the biggest promotions in Europe. They also have strings with America. Oh, not America, sorry, Thailand. And it was like, at the start, we'd arranged that I was going to take a bit of a break and wasn't going to fight for a couple of months. Cause
that's the worst thing you can say.
Here's tentative faith,
2 days later, Collie rings me, my coach rings me, and it was like, right, I know you're after saying you're going to take a break, Craig, but you're after getting offered a fight on your cow. I was like, I think I'm fighting. She was like, no, I understand, it's such a big organisation, this is a step to where you wanted to go. I think 3-4 fights on that, all KOs, my first 4 fights. Fought probably one of the biggest names in Muay Thai then, a fella called Singnam. He's like 300-400 fights. That's how often I fight. I think 300 odd fights. Was supposed to lose. This was for my first world title. It was legitimately wrote off by everyone. And for WBC, the scoring criteria is a little bit different to normal scoring criteria. So we were explaining this in the dressing room. We went out, fought the fight. Now, me personally, I think I slapped the head on him. Yeah, I came out of the fight unscathed, but went the other way. I think if I'd have KO'd him that night, I'd probably got disqualified.
No matter what you done.
Like, that's the way it was happening. After that, it wasn't this hard, but like I was a little bit good. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
Like fucking after doing all this work, I'm after being one of the best of all time, and just to be fucked in my face. Went on. Next fight, fought a fella in England on his home show, lost again. So I was a little bit like, what the fuck is going down here? Then I got matched against another all-time great, a guy called Rafi Bofic. You wouldn't know him. Again, he's held registered stadium titles in Thailand. He's one of the only foreigners to hold stadium titles in Thailand. Like, you don't hear foreigners like as in foreigners as in us, like going over and winning stadium titles. Went over, fought him in his home country. Again, went against me.
No way.
So I was on like a 3-fight skid, and shouldn't have been. Do you know what I mean? I was personally, I've beat all these lads. I know I beat them. They know I beat them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But didn't get the recognition for it. So then got a call back. So to the organisation that I fought the English lad on, it's called Muay Thai Grand Prix, which is probably the biggest organisation in England at the moment. They brought me back. They overturned the decision of the fight. They gave me the win, but again, nobody really knows it because it's not out there. It wasn't. My hand didn't get raised on the night. But they allowed me to fight for the world title straight away. I fought a guy called Panikas Yusuf, who is, again, he fought on one championship. He's done big things. He held 3 or 4 world titles. I was wrote off again. Went in. My mentality for that fight after the 3-fight skid was, I'm going in to kill or be killed here. I do not care. I'm not leaving that ring without that belt though. Went in. I stopped him in the 4th round. It was a heavy fight for him. For both was he started off well. He's very technical. Yeah. He'll sit back. He'll kick. He'll move around. But I kept pace on him. Wore him down until the referee stopped. Oh, but he didn't get up out of the 4th. Really? Then from there, we got the offer to go on to Route to One. It was called. Yeah. So it was a 8-man tournament in the 4-ounce gloves. The winner got the contract, the $100,000 contract to fight on one. They gave me the raw deal of the tournament, so I got all the hardest draws. Do you know what I mean? So my first fight, so I was a favourite, and a guy called Nathan Bendon was a favourite.
That's who you ended up in the final, wasn't it?
He ended up in the final, both of us did. But the guy I fought in my first fight had beat Nathan Bendon a couple of years back already, KO'd him.
Oh, really?
Then in my second fight, I got the prospect of the whole division. Do you know what I mean? I stopped him, went on, fought Bendon. Everyone was the same. It was the same in all of them. But you're gonna lose this because you're gonna lose this because you're gonna lose this because. But got through the final, fought Bendon. We were trying to go for, I think it was January or February. So we were talking to the promoter a little bit. The tournament was supposed to be done over a year, so you're supposed to fight. Usually tournaments are done over one night.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it probably wasn't.
No,
3 fights in a night's hard out. Do you know what I mean?
Fucking hell.
But it was supposed to be done over 1 year, but it was a year and a half because the promoter didn't want to do it in a certain venue or something like this.
Yeah.
But we asked the promoter, I was like, look, it was time that my girlfriend was having Cece, the second girl. The promoter, so we said to the promoter, look, is there any chance that we can get it in February? We can do the show in February or January even. I don't mind missing Christmas, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And then it was going back and forth. And he ends up having it at the start of April, and my girlfriend was due mid-March. So I had a newborn baby, and I had a fight then, which I know probably sounds like, but this, but that, but if you have kids, like, it's sleepless nights your first few weeks. And obviously trying to get up and go train after a sleepless night, it's fucking hard, you know what I mean? So trying to train intensely then is much harder.
Definitely.
So it was a little bit rough going through that camp, but we made the end of it. It was alright.
Yeah. That was. I don't want to go too much into the Route to 1 stuff just yet.
Right.
But I watched the. I don't think I watched the fight live. I remember I was doing the PT course with Shannon. At that time. I think that was
Lee.
Yeah. And I think we finished in March, and I was out to fight the April.
Yeah.
So it goes. I was, when's Craig fighting?
Yeah,
Then I got booked anyways in the end, and then which remember watching the highlights of the fight, and you could see your face. It was like at the start because it was a split decision, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then when they announced the split decision, it looked like you thought that they was going to give it to him.
Because that's what's happened about 4 times.
Yeah, up to that, yeah.
So I was just like, not this.
You could see it in their face, you were like,
again. But my coach was like, put your fucking hand up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get your hand up.
and even when you got the decision, then it wasn't even like. Obviously, you looked happy, but you more just looked like relieved.
Yeah, it
like,
was
thank
more
fuck.
relief. It was, yeah.
What was it like? The emotions around that whole. I mean, like a year and a half long tournament, looking towards this goal, like.
Like you said, it was like a relief. It was like a big weight just lifted on me then and there. Do you know what I mean? I've been working all this time to try and get to this promotion, and I'm finally out that down. That's it now. I'm after making it. Do you know what I mean? Like it was one of the happiest moments in my life, other than my kids.
Of course.
Yeah, you have to say that when you have kids, don't you?
Just like a little asterisk.
That's just how the board doesn't mean get clapped around when I go
See the
home.
way it was rolled to 1 as like the 100 grand contract.
Yeah.
So do you win the 100 grand contract for winning the competition, or is it you get offered then a 100 grand contract for X number of fights on one?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's the course of 6 fights, $100,000.
Right, okay, so what's that work out like?
15
grand per fight.
But then your fucking flights.
That's what I wanted to ask. Like, how far? It sounds unreal. Like 100 grand, 6 fights,
Yeah.
fucking line them up.
Yeah.
It's not that way,
Do
but
it on
like,
one night.
But now, to be fair, like you get good bonus money and stuff. So if you get KO in one, it's an extra 10 grand. Then on the bigger shows, like the Singapore shows, it's 50 grand.
Okay.
Right.
So like you have good incentives there.
Yeah.
And obviously, the more wins you get, the more money you get. Then like it doesn't only like it. You could earn more than 100 grand at the end of it. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Or you could earn less than 100 grand at the end of
I
it.
get you.
So
See what way it goes.
it's
Yeah.
mad, yeah, because you just hear, especially in fighting across the board, you just hear a number.
everyone was like, "Did you win 100 grand?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't win 100 grand."
Fucking pull up me AOB there, yeah.
Open
You're bringing
revenue and
me
fuck
out
all in.
tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But no, it didn't work like that.
No, unfortunately, because like you
Yeah.
don't think like how much money, time, effort goes into fight camps leading up to fight. People just think, oh, you show up that night,
And
jump in
that's
the
it,
ring,
do you
and
know what
that's
I mean?
it, job
People
done.
don't understand the amount of doing you have to do. You have to pay your coaches. If you go to strength and conditioning, you pay a strength and conditioning coach, or you have like all these other variables, your dietitian or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, people don't understand all that.
No. What weight do you fight at, Craig?
So I fought at a few weights. Optimal for me is probably 63.5 kilos.
Right.
Yeah. In one, they have a hydration clause.
Do
So
they?
you have to be hydrated when you weigh in. So they do a pH test on your piss.
Right.
You know what I mean?
To make sure you're hydrated, yeah.
Hydrated when you weigh in. So we fight at 65.8 there.
Right.
But even then, like, fighters are cutting mad amounts of weight still.
Yeah.
So there's ways around it. Do you get me? Like,
Always.
it's still
yeah,
cut.
yeah.
Exactly. Like, and to be honest, if my opinion is, it's worse. Because you have to cut more and then hydrate. Do you know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
So,
Yeah, they put it in as like a protection
Safety
mechanism
mechanism,
or
yeah.
whatever.
people
like,
are going to walk their way around
Yeah,
it either
yeah.
way. Do you know what I mean?
try to get the advantage some way. It's that much. I don't know about one and tallest. I like fucking. John Wayne UFC they have like USADA and all that drug testing.
USADA, no. I don't think so. I think they have like their own like fucking personal company or like or you can give sample. I'm not actually sure, but I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a rampant one.
Yeah.
I think Juice is rampant one. I think Juice is rampant in fight combat sports.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I'd agree with you. Even in like the likes of UFC and all that as well. Like
it just makes you get like craftier.
That's it.
Around it.
You get yourself a doctor. Do you know what I mean? But I think how to stop stuff like that. We were only actually talking about this on the way over. How to stop stuff like that is ban fires.
Yeah.
Like completely.
Clamp down on proper,
completely. Do you know what I mean? Not give them a fine or give them a 6 months hiatus. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ban them. Not let them fight again. You're putting someone else's life at risk. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever.
It's funny you say that because me and Lee, we had Sam Shortall on for the last episode and we were talking about UFC fighters and he was saying he loved TJ Dillashaw back in the day.
So did I.
And Lee was telling me about TJ and then he was banned for a while, was he? Or he
for
was,
a year.
And then he just comes back and then straight back in.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, let her fight again.
Like, what lesson do you learn from that?
Slap on the wrist.
They're probably happy for the break as well. You can get your surgeries and heal.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And we had Paddy Houlihan on last season, and he had to stop fighting because they found some blood condition or whatever. Whereas like you have fighters who are like putting other people's lives at risks and getting like a fine or whatever. Whereas he's just the only person he's harming is himself with his blood condition, and he's getting told he's not allowed to fight anymore.
He's never fight again. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
It's a fucked up system.
Oh man, it's rough. See, when you were on that 3-fight losing streak, Craig, did you take any form of like confidence from the fact that you knew deep down you won those fights, or was it just like I lost?
Like I always held myself in high regard still. Like I would never put my head down or hang my head in between a loss. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't take it as a loss. But also I didn't take it as a win.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I did the one thing I didn't let it affect me confidence. So you see fighters when they lose a fight, they're like, oh, they're deflated. Do you know what I mean? And it does that to people. Do you know what I mean? But I've always told myself, I know how good I am. I know how good I could be. I know where I belong. So just keep trucking. You know what I mean? You'll get there eventually.
Where does that self-belief come from?
I don't know. I actually don't. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say, like, oh, me aunties and uncles.
Yeah.
Fighters and they install or anything. I don't know. Probably me ma. My ma was a hard woman, do you know what I mean? She had to bring up 2 kids on her own.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She was a single mother. She had me and my older brother, and then she ended up getting with Senan's father.
Okay.
Then had Senan, but she had 2 young flits living in flats, do you know what I mean? She'd put up with an awful lot.
Ah, man. That put a few hairs in the chest.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So I'd say that's probably where I kind of got it from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And has there been any point throughout your like Muay Thai career where you've felt like you weren't good enough, it wasn't going to work out? Or?
No, but I was going to pack it in. I was going to pack it in at one stage. I was thinking about going to boxing. I was thinking about doing a few things. I was thinking about going to MMA. I was more so in COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
Boxers were getting fights, MMA fighters were getting fights, but there was nothing happening for Muay Thai. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, this is a lot of bollocks. I ended up fighting in Dubai then.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
In the middle of COVID.
Deadly.
I'm mad. This is a funny story as well. So I was supposed to fight a guy called Nico Carrillo.
Heard that name before.
Yeah, he fought on the same card as me. But he ended up getting hurt. He says he broke his hand. He sent me a picture of one of the boots casts.
Yeah, on his hand.
I swear to God. And we found out we had a fight for 5 or 6 weeks later.
Really?
After this fight, right? So it was like broken hand. 6 weeks later, he's gonna fight. Bit dodgy.
Yeah.
So we got in contact with the promoter of UAM. We says it to him. Look, sent him the poster. This was in the middle of COVID. This was going to be the first show back in the UK, and we were going to headline this event. He's after pulling out on me. He's going to be fighting on your show. The promoter says, yeah, that's unacceptable. Then his coach ended up contacting us and being like, oh, we weren't going to take it.
Right, yeah.
You can have it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, thanks.
Okay, thank you. So, neither of us got played in the injections. Yeah, neither me or Collie didn't get the jabs.
Oh, the COVID fucking
the COVID jab. So after the fight, coming back from the boy, have you got the
passport?
Passport, yeah. No. $2.5 grand. There and then we had to pay for COVID hotels. So on the way back, now when I saying like you're like shuttled onto a plane, shuttled off a plane, held. You know, when you're going in through customs, when you're going through the passport control, we were held at passport control, told, look, you need to wait here, you're going to be put on a bus, you're going to be brought down here. Now, on the bus on the way home, a lot of my family are just mad, like they are. Ring me brother, so right, like, drive down, because it was the Crow Park Hotel that they were going to put us in.
Right,
so it's very close to our area anyway. So it's like, right, like, come down with a few people here, will you please? So there's about 4 cars waiting on us as we were getting off the bus, and there was an army guy, there was a police guy, and the only person that tried to stop us was the hotel.
No way.
I'm not even joking. So your man out of the hotel's like this, trying to bring me into the hotel, and I'm looking at a cop and I'm looking at an army man, I was like, you gotta wait me. And then obviously fucking me coach and then my brother come over, grabbed blade bags, turned the bags in, so we broke out, we did.
Jesus. Fighting in the boy, breaking out of the car
coming
park
home, bleeding, broke
hell.
up a bit to be told that you have to pay $2,500 to get a hotel for yourself, do you know what I mean? To stay in your own country.
Literally, probably like 10 minutes down the road from your
gaff. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about?
Oh man, that was such a mad time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Feels like a
Looking
blur.
back on it, it actually does feel like a blur.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? How did everything just go like shut down, stop the world for like 2 years or whatever it was, and then like it just went back to normal, just like that. Overnight, it was like, right, grand, we're back.
People start bleeding, realising there was a lot of bollocks in there.
It was like that Russia invaded Ukraine, and it was like when that happened, everything just turned off COVID.
Like I took off that and put on that then.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like, right, that's old news now, we'll just move on and crack on with life.
That's a
It was a
new
funny
section.
old time though, because we were like renting gyms to blade and training, you had to hide and like
that's
cops were
right,
coming up and
yeah,
knocking
yeah.
at the gyms and being like, are you supposed to be here? But if you had a pro fighter in your club at the time, you could train.
Right.
Because you could say they were contracted to fight, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
true.
And we ended like, we had to do some mad stuff, to be honest with you. We
I can
ended up
imagine.
having to get a lot of contracts made to say that like fighters were fighting when they had no fighting, but like we were allowed trained, you know what I mean? From the start of it, we were training in the Phoenix Park. You know the bandstand in Phoenix Park?
Yeah.
We were using that and all. Like, desperate times, man.
Just
Desperate
Big
times.
time.
The things you do for the sport, you love,
Just try trying, do you know what I mean?
How close did you come to wrapping up at
Very,
Muay Thai?
very
But
close.
like,
At that time, very, very close. Like I was on my last nerve.
really, yeah.
I'm done with this, yeah.
What age are you now, Craig?
31.
31. So
I know I'm about 15, I know.
You do have the baby
You
face.
are young as well.
25 next week.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Appreciate it. But yeah, your face doesn't look too bad now if I get elbows and kicks.
Didn't take too much damage in my career, thankfully.
Is that down to luck, or is that your fighting style?
Me style, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've an aggressive style, like I come to fight, you know what I mean? But I like to use like my feet, like use like footwork and head movement. Whereas you don't see a lot of Thai fighters do stuff like that, do you know what I mean? A lot of Thai fighters is like literally stand in front of each other. You
down
hit
on the
me,
gum
I
shield.
hit you.
Yeah.
See who hits harder. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I was never like that. I got into Thai because I wanted to start MMA, so I was watching fighters like TJ Dillashaw, Move, Blade, Madway, you know what I mean? And I was trying to kind of implement that into my style. So I kind of took that like slick style, we'll say.
Right.
Yeah. It's easy on the eye to watch.
Yeah.
For people who maybe don't understand like the difference between all the different fighting, like jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, MMA, like what they see in the UFC, for you as someone who's like so skilled in one martial art, let's say of Muay Thai, what do you feel like the transition, if you wanted to get into MMA and try to compete at high levels, like do you think it would be a smooth enough transition for you? Or
Not at all. And I think that fighters that think stuff like that are delusional.
yeah,
Because it'd be like me saying like you like the random person that plays football trying to go and make a transition into basketball. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
a completely different sport.
Yeah.
Just because the two sports will say doesn't mean that they're the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm a realist. I'm not gonna go in and say like cause me striking is so good, I'm gonna be great in MMA. You know what I mean? I'm gonna pan everybody out. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna get someone like Khabib that's just gonna run at you. Do you know what I mean? And rape you. You know what I mean?
Fight.
And I'm not about that. Do you know what I mean? Like fuck that.
Don't get paid enough for that.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And so, like, realistically, I'd have, like, because I thought about it a lot of times, so like, I did want to make the transition, but am I willing to give a full year, it's maybe 2 years of my life just to grappling?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
How old? I'm 33 then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, starting off.
You have to weigh it all up.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be able to do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't take losing well, like, you know. So
You leave the
stick
Dagestanis to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Them have
Let
that one,
them
yeah.
have,
I was going to say, there's a, like, obviously Muay Thai is mostly people from like Thailand and that area of the world, but there does seem to be a good few, like, mostly English, I think, like Jonathan Haggerty and Liam Harrison and people like that.
Yeah.
What do you think is causing the, like, increase in popularity?
The UK scene, it's actually grown. It's very big. So, France, Holland, UK, and Spain, maybe they'd be all the biggest countries for Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Leading it, I'd say probably France or the UK. France have a very, very, very good Muay Thai scene.
Really?
But the UK, it's more booming in. It's more underground in France. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So the French, like, I don't think that loud elbow or something over there.
Even MMA was illegal for
Yeah,
ages.
for ages.
Yeah. So like that, but they have great fighters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They really do have great fighters. But I don't know why it's so, like, probably over the fighters, like the likes of Haggerty and that. Like he's or Harrison. Harrison was probably a big. He probably brought more to mainstream than
Yes.
Haggerty did. Like he was on Joe Rogan podcast and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not too sure. I just think more people are actually getting to see it now.
Yeah.
And like obviously, if you are into combat sports, you're gonna like Muay Thai.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Aye.
At a purest heart, like it's just striking. You know what I mean? So the average MMA fan, that's what they watch MMA for.
That's all they want to see,
Do you know what
yeah.
I mean? So I think that's why one's getting so big now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot, like, they are an MMA company. They also do submission grappling, but
Right.
the biggest thing is the Muay Thai. Do you know what I mean? The Muay Thai is what's pushing them. So that's where you're saying, if you're seeing any of the interviews that your man Chartry does,
Yes.
he's talking about UFC being mediocre, and he's talking about like one championship having all these world champions. It's not world champion MMA fighters, it's world champion Muay Thai fighters he's talking about there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's saying they're striking is sloppy. Yeah, obviously it's sloppy compared to a professional Muay Thai fighter who just trains striking.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
of course. Is that where Demetrius Johnson?
I think. Yeah, Muay
Yeah,
Thai
it's on.
Yeah, Demetrius in one
Is
as
it-
well.
do you
now.
get and your man Chartry that you mentioned? He's a bit of a character. That fella. Did you get to meet any of
No,
those?
I
No,
haven't met him. No, I haven't met him.
never did. Not until
Would
you
you
get
fight
there.
DJ?
Would I?
Oh.
Yeah, I'd have a knock off. Not MMA though. He actually done like it was a
Round-
mixed drills fight.
Yeah, it was like
one round something.
Was that Rotang?
Muay Thai Rotang.
Yeah, one
he's
round
very
Muay
good
Thai,
though.
one round MMA or something.
Yeah, then I don't know why they thought that Rotang was going to win that fight. Like all DJ had to do was survive the first round.
Yeah.
And then it's over.
Wrap him up.
You know what I mean? Like realistically, what's Rotang going to do when it goes to the ground? Just fuck off.
his dance.
He might be, do you know what I mean?
Squeeze the bum cheeks.
Yeah. I hope that he doesn't get fucking
Flashbacks
doesn't
and
go,
keep
yeah.
jumping on you.
I wanted to ask you though, because you said it there about your man who pulled out a fight and had that like picture of the yoke, and I think it was Kiefer Crosby had in the story yesterday. He had to pull out
Before his
his
back.
fight.
Oh,
before
did
his
he?
Back.
Oh, no.
And his opponent started getting tick with him or something when he said he had to pull out a fight. What, like, obviously when you pull out a fight, I'm sure you like tell the promoter or your manager or whatever. But like fighter to fighter, out of respect, would you always
He
contact?
texts me, yeah. Nico texts me personally, yeah.
Is that
Before.
common within the sport? Like,
Yeah,
or-
well, it should be. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have a bit of courtesy for the fella you're fighting, give him a little bit of notice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He might be able to get another fight then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a nice thing. In my opinion, it's a nice thing to do.
Yeah. And what's all the, like, is there always suspicion when someone withdraws from a fight, or does it just depend on the way they go?
Yeah, well, I probably would always, because like,
Yeah.
more than likely, nobody's going into a fight 100%.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that now. Nobody goes into a fight 100%. Anyone will tell you, yeah, feel great with this fight.
Best
Best
training camp I've ever had.
But,
Yeah.
like, you've always a little niggle. You've always something at you. Do you know what I mean? Now, some obviously more severe cases than others.
Yeah.
But, like, more than likely you're going to pull yourself through and fight either way. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've went into fights with bad injuries myself. Like one or two bad injuries where I probably shouldn't have fought.
Right.
What's the worst? If you're able
I had
to
a
say?
shoulder injury. I couldn't actually. I know. Yeah. I had two bad injuries going into two fights. One of them was a shoulder injury. I couldn't actually throw a right hand.
No way.
And one of them, I broke my foot.
Oh,
Couldn't kick in the foot at all. I think I broke two of my toes or something like that. And I was actually fighting at a tournament at that time. It was two fights, not in the it was a different tournament. Had two fights on the same night. First fight, I didn't throw any kicks whatsoever.
Fucking hell.
Mad out.
What's that? Is that like So if you're going into a fight, then you have like one less weapon that you can use.
You more than likely will be able to throw it because of the adrenaline. The adrenaline is so high, you don't feel fuck all. Do you know what I mean? Like, you really don't feel a lot. But after it, bad news.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Loud voice.
You see even the UFC fighters in wheelchairs coming out after like, see when you get like, right, you get a text or whatever saying, right, you're fighting this fella on this date. One of the things I always thought, like, if I was in a situation where you were a prize fighter, let's say, right, you're fighting for money, a lot of the time you probably don't even know the lad who you're going to fight or whatever. Do you have to almost like make up something in your mind of like, he's the enemy in this case sort of thing, or is it as simple as this is just what we do?
Toy is actually very respectful,
right? Yeah,
like, because they do it so often, it's
nothing personal really,
you know what I mean? So like, that's kind of instilled in everyone that does Muay Thai. We know in UFC and MMA it's this big thing where now your mouth is what's going to make you money, but it's not like that in Thai, you know what I mean? So you don't see a lot of people hating on each other. Now obviously
some people do.
Get fucking in. It can get a little bit heated sometimes at weigh-ins, or maybe a little bit back and forth on social media. But you never really see a lot of it. Do you know what I mean? But personally, no. If anything, I don't want that like that, because that's just gonna make you a little bit more invested. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to be invested. If you want to be cold when you go in there, do you know what I mean? Cool, calm, calculated, and cold. They're my thoughts on it.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, so the emotions can just make things
like,
messy.
you can take over. Like you can throw stupid stuff if you're emotional. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're fighting with emotion, like you're probably overthrowing the shot, and that's when you get caught.
Yeah, true. See, if footballers fucking lose their head in the pitch and go make a stupid tackle or whatever, get sent off.
Again, it starts to roll, you know, snowball effect on it.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about, obviously, that. So Road to One, you won that in April of 2023.
Yeah.
So it would have started like 2020. End of 21 or started 22, something like that?
Yeah, 22.
Where were you at in life around that time? With like, were you still in, like, that was kind of just after you had decided you were going to stop doing Muay Thai or whatever and got back into it?
So just before I got the road to COVID was when I was going to stop. Then end up fighting on the UAM card, won that fight, came home, got offered me world title fight, won me world title. Then we got offered the route to one. So
sweet.
I was in good spot then. Do you know what I mean? My head was like, I was fully committed to Muay Thai. I was in this for the long haul then. Do you know what I mean? Nice. And I knew, because I had a world title, I had more of an opportunity to get into one. Yeah. And then obviously we got the call for the route to one. So my confidence was high. Everything was in good position. My girlfriend was only after getting pregnant. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything was in place.
Yeah, not shooting blanks.
Yeah, 2 kids. So definitely not shooting blanks.
You have to go for the second just to prove it wasn't
it. Is it 2 daughters?
2 girls.
2 girls.
So Sissy Mickey.
How has that changed your like mentality and approach to life in general?
Majorly.
What age are you with the first girl?
20. So Lily is 6 now. I would have been out enough.
25.
26.
Yeah.
At 25. You're about 25.
Nice. And was that like an instant shift in mentality then when she was there?
No, when she was born, yeah. Like that, I was still kind of hanging around the flats a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't actually, like, I was fully committed to Muay Thai.
Yeah.
I was probably still playing and hanging around flats,
like
still drinking a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was not all about someone else. It was still all about Craig. Do you know what I mean? Like, my life was all about me, but when you have a child, your life's not about you anymore. Do you know what I mean? You have to look after this little person, this little thing, we'll say. Do you know what I mean? You have to give everything to this. Like, it's not about making money for you anymore. You have to make money for you. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I grew up, I'd say. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You hear that a lot from people. Like even Paddy Houlihan, can't remember word for word what he said, but it was something along the lines of like, when he had his first kid, he was a teenager, I think. 18. And he was like, people saying to him, like, that's the end of your life now, basically. He's like, no, like, I have a life because of this kid now.
Yeah, nah, it does. It's the start of your life. Like, anyone ever tells you, they're great, yeah.
Yeah.
Now look, obviously there's a lot of things that you can't do. Like, you can't just go up and go out anymore. You can't just go on a holiday anymore. You have to plan a little bit differently and all. But they change for the better. Do you know what I mean?
Was there any I don't know, like fear or worry or that in your end going back into Muay Thai and like getting into fights after the kid was born, knowing like the risk of
getting hurt,
injuries or like that.
I was more or less making money
Yeah.
than actually getting hurt. There was more like, how am I going to provide?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's not a lot. Well, there wasn't a lot of money in Muay Thai at the start. Like, I think I got paid €50 for my first pro fight.
It's mad,
€50. Do you know what I mean? 5 drinks. Do you know what I mean? That was it.
Wow, man. You'd make more fucking being a lounge boy for the night.
Do you know what I mean? You would. You'd probably make more on tips. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was my biggest worry, and that's when I kind of I need to do something else as well as this.
Yeah.
That's when I kind of got into doing PTing and stuff like that.
Ready?
How do you find the PTing and coaching?
So me PTing, I wouldn't be a weightlifting PT.
Yeah.
Like Jay is
Yeah,
my
yeah.
strength and conditioning coach, one of the owners of Elite.
Yeah.
But my PT is like, I do Thai boxing with people, so I'm showing it a skill, we'll say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love doing it as well. I love coaching as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll help coach the kids at our gym, some of the beginners at our gym as well. But coaching will probably be what I do after fighting. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to give everything into my coaching now.
Yeah,
because
of
I can't.
course.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, they only a couple of PTs a week to get the extra few cash. Yeah.
Deadly.
Yeah.
And your coach is a Collie.
Collie Martin, yeah.
Like, he seems like he was coaching Sean O'Bannon as well. Like,
He coaches Sean, he works with Ian Gary, he works with Sham. So
he's well respected. Like,
like he's over with Ian now in England.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So if you look at the tier of fighter, so I'm one championship. Shauna Ian is in UFC.
Yeah.
Shem is in
Octagon,
Octagon. We had fighters in Bellator. He was at Shami.
yeah.
Sam Slater. So he's had fighters fight like
all the promotions,
highest of
yeah.
organisations. So the proof is in the pudding with him. You know what I mean? He is a serious coach.
When did he come into your life?
We started training together. So
Really?
when I went into the AC gym, he
Just
was
the name of it, yeah.
in that gym. Yeah.
Right.
His coach was our first coach, and Tony moved to Thailand. Tony set up his own gym in Thailand. We were kind of still doing his gym, and we ended up just wanting to do our own thing. Do you know what I mean? Wanting to try and make our own bit of money, and we came up with DCA. Do you know what I mean? Dublin Combat Academy. So we branched out and made our own gym, and now at the start we'd probably 3 fighters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
Just slowly but surely.
progress. Now we fight was in UFC, won championship. Do you know what I mean? Like.
Nice. And what is it about his coaching style that you feel helps you so much?
So he's not like, so usually with a coach you see they teach one style. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's their style. You'll see all the fighters are the same style. They all do the same kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Collie coaches as an individual. So obviously you see what fighters are good at, and you'll work on what they're good at. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than trying to implement a different style onto them.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? So, like, my style has changed over the years, or changed throughout a fight. Do you know what I mean? To a particular fighter, like that, he's a student of the game. He still watches and he still learns. So he's watching fighters that, like, this fella likes an elbow, so you're going to stay a little bit longer, stay out that range, or this fella likes to come forward, so you're going to use your feet on this one, or this fella likes to sit back, so you're going to clinch. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah.
he's a wizard, yeah. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but he's as in love with the sport as most fighters I know. Like, he's the first one in, the last one out. Do you know what I mean?
Respect.
He goes
that,
above and beyond for all his fighters.
What's the leader of the Power Rangers?
The White Ranger.
Is he the... Sorry, Colin.
Can't let him be the White Ranger.
And do you think, obviously, when you're a coach, you're going to be your own style of coach or whatever. What do you think are some of like the biggest lessons you'll take from Collie to bring into your own coaching?
It's work ethic. Like, his work ethic is better than most a lot of fighters.
Yeah.
No, like, honestly, like, there's no way of explaining that. You see coaches and, like, they're half committed.
Yeah.
They might have another job outside, or they might just have kids. Like, Collie's focus is Muay Thai. Like, it's, well, not Muay Thai, it's combat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, he wants to be the best coach in the world. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Like, you don't see that with coaches very often.
No.
So, like that, when we were at the start, we trained together. Collie competed also, and when we were branching off, just before we branched off, he was like, right, I think you could go somewhere with this, Craig, so I'm going to coach you full time now. So he took the back step. But when he took the back step as, like, from being a fighter to a coach, he took, like, the fighter's mentality with it, if you get me.
Into coaching, yeah.
Into coaching, do you know what I mean? He wants to be the best coach of all time type thing,
Yeah,
rather
yeah,
than
yeah.
being the best fighter now, do you know what I mean?
Oh man, that's deadly. Something like you've just been around people like that just
Oh,
forces
the
you.
energy.
Yeah, you
Oh,
just
100%.
the passion they bring to it. As it's a great point that you made around him being able to like adapt to the fighter in front of him, because you hear lots. I think it's in boxing mainly, but you'll hear like there's specific
Don't
trainers.
do this or don't do that. Whereas don't is probably not in our vocabulary. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
something will work at any given time. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I might not work in this specific scenario, but in a different, I might work. Do you know what I mean? He'll
Yeah.
never tell you like don't use this.
Yeah,
or
never
don't
do that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's all
'Cause
about,
there's a place for something. Do you know what I mean? There's always going to be a place for it.
Big time, yeah. So he like understands just like the foundations of it, and then it's like just applying
And
it
then
to the
just start
situation.
applying
Yeah,
different bits into different scenarios.
it's mad. It's probably something that I didn't have for like I'm only kind of into UFC and all like the last couple of years. I'd say before that I probably would have been not as harsh, but like you know those people are like, oh geez, like how's that a sport sort of thing? You know, it's just two lads battering each other. But the more you like look at it and see, you don't realize.
It's very intricate.
It's like I know they use the analogy of like a game of chess, but like it is literally like trying to figure pieces of a puzzle out.
Yeah, 100%. Like you move here and you get fucked up, then you know what I mean?
I can have an idea just from playing like different sports, but like few in the ring, is it a ring they fight in Muay Thai? Is it a ring?
Yeah, or cage.
Or the cage.
Yeah.
Cage is always like scary, innit? So get locked in that
Cage
cage.
is different as well, though.
Oh, even that, yeah.
It is. It's much different because like you can use ropes when you're on ropes because
Yeah,
you've got leeway on a rope. Do you know what I mean?
Bounce
So
off it.
a fighter can kind of lean on a rope to push themselves back in the out, they throw a shot, but on a cage you're pinned.
Pinned up
You know
against
what I
it,
mean?
yeah. When you're in the cage or the ring then against someone else, like in your mind, would you constantly be adapting to these
Where
things?
you are, innit?
As in, like, let's say, oh, this fella, like you mentioned with colleagues, like this fella likes to throw elbows, this fella likes to come forward.
He'll do a lot. So for instance, so you get a call, we're gonna fight this fight, or blah blah blah. He'll look into it. We'll both look into it a small bit.
Right,
I'll
yeah.
look a little bit to kind of see what he's good at, to see what I think that I could do against it. But Collie will study. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He give me a rough idea, and then he'll work like the finer details. You know what I mean? So like for instance, I'll know like he has a good left hook, or he likes to use an elbow. So these are the things I'm going to be wary of. But then Collie will work like what works against that left hook,
Combinations
and
and
what
stuff.
works against them elbows. What can we do to prevent that, and what can we do to our advantage?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Has it ever happened that like, do you ever see like McGregor in the dressing room before the Aldo fight and like he's practicing that
Bang.
punch that he
Yeah,
lands?
yeah.
Has that ever happened with
Yeah,
you?
no, we've drilled not to that extent. Now
Yeah.
that's a free kick. That's like picture perfect
Yeah,
of what he
yeah, yeah.
done. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, like stuff we've been working on in training camps has come off in fights, but not to that extent.
Yeah.
Though.
I've always wondered how much of it in a fight is just like pure instinct.
A lot.
Yeah.
A
I'd
lot.
say so, yeah.
Now, like that, you'll be drilling certain combinations or a certain shot that you'll throw repetitively, and that'll come off. But again, that's like the highest order of
Yeah,
it. That's him throwing that shot and then him going out and knocking him out with that
Yeah.
shot. Do you know what I mean?
It's like someone scripted it. Wasn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Say, I'm always sure, firstly, in an ideal scenario, if you were having a fight, how long of a lead into the fight
What
do
I
you
like.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm the type of fighter that like I grow in confidence the more I train.
Yeah.
So a lot of the fighters you'll hear it's flowy and it's train smart, not hard. I'm the opposite. When I train hard, I know I've no corners cut.
Yeah,
I know I'm
yeah.
after working my bollocks off. I grow in confidence then. So typically 8 weeks, but I do 12-week camp. No
Right.
bother.
Say you had a 12-week camp, like what actually goes into that? How many times a day you train, and what way does it look like trying to pull your weight down as you're trying to train to perform and not
So
get
a
knocked
typical
out?
week for me, Monday morning, go strength and conditioning. Monday afternoon, I'll have a Muay Thai session. Your strength and conditioning session is usually about an hour long. Depending on what you're doing, it'd be your one compound exercise and then a couple of exercises revolved around it, and then a load of core and a little bit of conditioning. Then when you go to do your Muay Thai session, it'd be probably 15-20 minutes skipping, 15-20 minutes shadow boxing, a little bit of body work. It could be clinching, it could be place bar, 5 to 6 rounds on pads, then a load of conditioning.
Right.
That's a good day, yes. Then
A day.
Tuesday, yeah, that's just
Day.
a day. Tuesday morning, it'd be your Muay Thai session, similar to the one you've done the night before, then it'd be a sprint session, usually on the Iridine.
Right, yeah.
So your sprint session is usually based off your wattage. So for instance, he does it off your power output. So if, for instance, I hit 1,000 cals on the watt bike within 10 seconds, he'll walk off that. So it'll be 60% for 20 seconds or 30 seconds.
Okay, yeah.
So you hold that at 600 watts for 30 seconds. Then increase, it'll be 70% for 20 seconds. Then last is max effort. So you're trying to build your engine at the start. So your first burst, it'll be 30 seconds, but there's no break. It's a full minute sprint for one lap, and then obviously you get 3 minutes off. So it'll be 600 watts for 30 seconds, 700 watts for 20 seconds, and last 10 seconds
fly out.
max
Getting
effort.
faster as you go, like, yeah.
But then as you build, your time goes down.
Okay, yeah.
So later in camp it'll be 20 seconds just, 15 seconds just.
Yeah.
It'll be smaller explosions, but at a much higher pace. So my sprint session Tuesday night, then Wednesday morning strength and conditioning, Wednesday night
Muay Thai.
Tuesday morning Muay Thai, Thursday night sprints. Friday morning is usually the easiest session of the week because you've sparred that night.
Alright.
Sparred
You're going to say you get a little break on the Friday evening or something.
I broke up. And then Saturday morning is usually just kind of a shakeout session or a last sprint session.
No tea and biscuits as a Muay Thai fight, I saw now.
Well, you have a few tea and biscuits that night. Do you know what I mean? But usually coming down gradually through the weeks is when you start kind of cutting your calories, start cutting all your foods out. Basically the same as most fighters, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's such a mad one, like, because in the world of bodybuilding, for example, like, they obviously are the extreme of like cutting calories and all, but like they don't have to worry about fighting someone or like getting into a ring and performing. They just have to look a certain way. Whereas you have to worry about your weight, but also your performance, staying injury free, hydration.
The next day is the biggest part of it. Like you see a lot of fighters that if they don't know how to rehydrate properly, they end up fucking their liver up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or their kidneys.
Yeah, you hear some horror stories, don't you?
Yeah, now some bad ones like.
Have you had any like horrible weight cuts, or have you managed?
I've had a couple of bad weight cuts, but I've never had a bad circumstance, you know what I mean? So Collie knows me very well, so he knows when I'm kind of getting to a stage where it's getting dangerous.
Yeah.
So he'll just whip me out, you know what I mean? But I used to make 59 kilos.
What would you walk around at, yeah?
Now, about 74. But back then, I wouldn't have held as much muscle. I probably walked around at about 73. I walk around 74 now. Not like eating where I want, but trying. Do you know what I mean? I probably walk around at about 77 now, eating wherever I want. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I've had one bad cut down to 59 where I was like, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do this. And we got it done, but not without fucking a load of hassles. You know
I can imagine.
Fighters turn into Davids when they couldn't wait. Trust me on that.
What for you as well, actually, Coakley, you know the way you see the UFC fighters and they'd be like in bats, or they'd be like covered in the same job, yeah.
A lot. So in Thailand, you'll see a lot of them running in sauna suits.
Yeah,
but that's idiotic. Do you know what I mean? You're running your body into the ground the day before you're gonna fight. You know what I mean? Stupid. So least effort is the way forward.
Yeah.
If I don't have to make any effort, I'm not gonna put my body through as much stress.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So a hot bath, a sauna are ideal because you don't have to move too much. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. The hot bath is a little bit gruesome. So is the sauna a little bit gruesome. So what you're doing is you're getting a bath to a certain temperature, usually around 40 degrees, 38, 40 degrees. That's on a leveler side. Put Epsom salts in the bath, so Epsom salt shorts from your water. The week leading up there, you'll water load. So you'll drink like a copious amount of water, usually around 8 litres of water for a couple of days.
Right, yeah.
Take sodium, salt, sugar and carbohydrates out of your diet so your body doesn't retain water.
Yeah.
You just release it, do you know what I mean? And I don't know, I think it tricks your body into thinking it's flooding. So you're just constantly pissing out your arsenal.
I can imagine.
Pissing out your arsenal. It's not for good. Like. Then
I'm gonna try it now just to see.
Oh, he was fucking right.
so gradually throughout the week, the water gradually drops, but you keep pissing. You know what I mean? Because
so
your body hasn't
the
retained
water
any
out,
salt. Yeah. Then that's when you'll cut weight at the end of it. So you'll start off at about 8 litres of water, and your last day you'll have probably 500 mils of water, and then you'll dehydrate for 24 hours. So by the time you weigh in, so you'll have 500 mils 24 hours before you weigh in.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're dehydrated for 24 hours, and then you cut your weight.
That is mad.
And then you go in and scrap somebody.
Yeah.
But nowadays, people are smart, so they know how to rehydrate properly.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's not just a fact. And like you're saying, like back in the day, I used to see people chomping chicken fillet rolls after the
Yeah,
game,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? And fucking eating
Going for
mad
McDonald's
shit,
and
you
that,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, like. But now people are a lot smarter. They know like diets. They know how to do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's now like what you're after taking away from your body, you're now trying to replenish your body with it. Do you know what I mean? So you're putting your salts, your sugars back in there, your carbs back in there. And then you see people going back into Superman. Do you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Madness. Like I remember seeing
Connor's probably one of the best examples of it.
Oh, when he was making
When he
featherweight,
fought.
he
how did he do it? Yeah.
When he fought Mendes, I think it was, he looked bad.
And then the next night,
He's bleeding 20 times bigger than him.
yeah.
That's
Like,
crazy.
I remember Aljamain Sterling. I think he fights at 135, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And
135.
like he's back up to 170 or something.
Yeah,
Then it's like how madness.
It's a mad world.
It's a weird old thing, isn't it? The whole weight, making weight for a fight, but like you're not actually fighting at that weight.
It's stupid.
I don't understand the logic
People looking for
behind it.
fucking
Yeah?
advantages. do you
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? That's literally all that is. It's someone wants an advantage,
It's like how much can I drain my body to make a weight on the scales and then just
and then I'll just suck all back in.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be huge compared to this cunt tomorrow. You know what I mean?
What you're like, I don't know if that is anyway. If they tried to bring in some way that like everyone had to fight at their natural weight, what way would you like police that so that it would actually like just randomly test people throughout the year what their weight is? Or?
You'd probably have to get a rough measure of people what people are, what weights they're at. So WBC do like a check. 4 weeks out from a fight, you need to be a certain weight with WBC. So, say for instance, it has to be within 4 kilos of your fight weight. 3 weeks out, 2 kilos. 4 weeks, 2 weeks out, 1 kilo, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. That's actually a good way of tracking it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that people aren't drastically cutting major amounts of weight.
Yeah.
No, people still cut weight and do like mini weigh-ins on them for
Yeah, yeah,
weeks. Do you know what I mean? But
tricky
that
one,
is a
yeah.
good way of doing it because no one really wants to be cutting weight 4 times within a month. Do you know what I mean?
oh yeah, true will deter them from
Yeah,
from
from
attempting
doing
it.
it.
Yeah. So ever see a man who fought against Daniel Dubois on the Saudi card, and he's like 300
Yeah.
and
Maybe Miller.
maybe Miller, yeah. It's like,
He's caught by juice about 4 times.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He had a fight against Joshua that got
Yeah, it
cancelled
got
because
cancelled twice.
yeah, and now he's just
I mean?
fighting Dubois.
Do you know what I mean? Though, like that. Like, how's he allowed to fight?
yeah, exactly.
Shouldn't be allowed to fight.
Boxing seems like one of the,
Yeah,
the
it's-
most corrupt sports of the lot.
I think they all are. I think
Yeah.
all combat, like, I don't know what it is. Combat sports, they involve a lot of drug dealers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Just a lot of like high powered people get involved in it, and then it becomes this thing where one person's putting a lot of money on someone, so then
yeah,
you know what I mean, the gambling
Yeah.
side of things is where things go wrong. Like, this fella's not meant to win. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you hear all the stories of the mafia being involved in the US or even MTK, the Kinahans? Remember all that stuff? And all that?
Same as like Thailand, like, it's a big thing. Gambling's huge over there now. So
Is it,
that's what, so like you'd see a lot of like they fix fights as well over there. Like fighters will take dives and all that.
Yeah.
But then if it's found out, that fighter will never allow fight in the stadium again. So,
And when we say in the stadium, was it like just that stadium?
just that stadium.
Right.
Because all stadiums have different kind of rule sets, and all stadiums have different titles. And
I get you.
so
a mad one, isn't it?
not allowed in that stadium, but you can fight over there.
Yeah,
You know
one
what I
thing I
mean?
understand that,
Literally.
That's a crazy old setup.
Yeah.
Madness. What's I know you had a fight recently. When was that?
That was
Just before
22nd
Christmas.
December.
22nd.
Yeah.
What was it like actually prepping for a fight and also getting all the shit sorted for
I
Christmas?
wasn't.
and
I
all?
wasn't prepping for the fight.
Oh, true, actually, yeah,
I
yeah.
was- In my opinion, I got the contract in April. I thought, right, we will have to get in the contract. We might get a fight soon. So I tried to be as consistent with my training as possible. I was like, I never know when I'm going to get the call to do a fight now. So training hard up until about October. Like that, I have 2 little kids.
Yeah.
Coming up to Christmas, I have to start trying to make a little bit of money. I'm not fighting, I'm not making money. I'm not doing PTs, I'm not making money. Can't do as many PTs if I want to train very hard. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, if the rest in between sessions, and then obviously take my kids also. So you're trying to juggle things. So I was like, right, it's coming up to the Christmas. They're not going to offer me anything over the Christmas. Do you know what I mean? Take a little bit of a break, do more PTs, make me feel quid, and then get back training towards the New Year.
Yeah.
4 weeks before, Craig, we've a fight. So it's not ideal. I had 3 weeks training, 1 week wake up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And travel to Thailand as well.
Yeah, and a trip to Thailand. Now that was the good part. You know what I mean? But yeah, didn't go my way for them. Like there was more circumstances like that. Wasn't lifting weights, wasn't doing my sprints, couldn't get much sparring in. So all in all, it wasn't really a camp. I was just kind of slapped together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'd never turn a fight down. Do you know what I mean? Especially not my first fight in one.
Yeah, it is annoying though, considering you won the contract in April, you were good to
Yeah,
go.
to get a fight in December then. You know what I mean?
And it's literally just stay busy and wait for the phone to ring.
I don't know, like, I don't think to that extent. There was more legal things. So it was the first time I got a contract where like I'd no clue what I was getting myself into. So we obviously had to get like solicitors to look over and stuff like that. So obviously a few things that in the contract that the solicitor was kind of like, you should ask questions about this and make sure that you know everything before you sign it. So we did, and they never got back to us.
Right.
So we think that it was like a ghosting thing. Do you know what I mean? Like
dragging their heels on it. Yeah.
Sign the contract. You don't have to. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, right.
So, and the last conversation I had with my coach, I was like, do you think we should get a manager? I was like, do you think, he was like, if I get a call with them, are you going to sign your contract now? Like, I was like, right, I think I'm going to have to. So he got the call with them. He asked the questions then on the phone, and they clarified some things. And my coach was like, why couldn't you just clarify these things? And you would have signed the contract then and there. Do you know what I mean? So he says, we'll send over the contract to you now. So we sent over the contract, and then they had a fight. Like that. Do you know what I mean?
Fucking hell.
Just the way it goes sometimes, isn't it? What can you do?
We got the short end of the straw that time,
Yeah.
we'll be smarter next time.
That's it.
That's it. And what was it like when you got that thing anyway? Like, was it like straight away, I'm taking that fight? Or
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have to think about it.
Yeah.
No trepidation.
No,
It's Christmas, you know what I mean? It's
No, even my girlfriend, like, I thought she was going to be a little bit like, it's Christmas, Craig, what you doing?
Yeah.
Now, this has happened to me before, like with the Rafi fight, when I was telling you about where I fought in France. I fought a guy called Rafi in France. It was the same kind of thing. I took a fight on short notice, but he took the fight on short notice. There wasn't supposed to be an event that day.
Okay.
But with the one in Thailand, that was more short notice because it wasn't two of us took it on short notice. Do you know what I mean?
Right, the other fella was training for a fight, was he? And then his opponent pulled out.
Well, Thai is trying
Constantly. They're going every
What
week.
they do,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? That's their 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It actually is like.
Fair, yeah. Looking back on that fight, do you regret taking it, or do you kind of be like, nah?
I don't regret taking it because, again, if I didn't take it, would I got me front in the door then? Do you know what I mean? Would they have been like, oh, he doesn't want to sign a contract and he doesn't want to take a fight? Do you know what I mean?
True.
So, no, I've no regrets in that sense. I've regrets that I wasn't still training, do you know?
Leading into that,
Coming up to it, that's probably my biggest regret.
How did you feel in there? Like, that was your first time fighting in the one promotion.
Felt good.
Yeah.
Came out, felt good coming out, felt good warming up. Didn't feel as strong as I normally do. One or two things, didn't feel as sharp as I normally do because I didn't spar as much. But I still felt good. Everything felt sharp coming out into it. When I got out there, crowd was amazing. Fucking the atmosphere was buzzing. I was trying to soak it all in. Do you know what I mean? Just got caught with a lovely shot.
Oh, it's a body shot, is it?
Body shot, yeah. Solar plex.
Nice.
There's nothing you can do in those situations.
Look, it is what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, fuck this and all. Do you know what I mean? Like,
how many people were in the stadium? Do you remember?
I think it's about 2,500, 3,000. It's not a huge stadium, but it feels like a huge stadium. You know what I mean? Like, it's. I think it's because they're more not educated, but you know they fight more. Do you know what I mean? Like, in Thailand, when someone lands a kick, it's
right.
Or someone lands a punch,
Really? Yeah.
yeah. Like you hear it a little bit in Ireland as well, but it's more kill him in Ireland. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, someone's man in the back end.
Go on.
Well, see, when you're in the ring or in a cage with someone and you're fighting, now if you're playing football, right, and so say you get the ball and you're playing on the wing and your fullback's marking you, right, and you go past them once, you kind of have in your head like, right, I have this fella today. Yeah. So does it be like that against an opponent?
You can get that sense, but I don't like that, to be honest with you, because anything can happen in a fight.
Yeah.
Literally anything can happen in a fight. You could be miles ahead in a fight and you take one nice shot and that's that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you've seen fights where fighters you're like this.
Oh, Leon Edwards against Usman. Yeah.
Usman. There you go. like you are never gonna think Leon Edwards was gonna win that fight. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And all of a sudden, that's why I love fighting. That's why I love combat, because it's so unpredictable. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't tell me that this person is at 110% gonna win that fight.
There's always a chance.
There's always a chance. As they say, a puncher's chance. Do you know what I mean? There's always a chance that someone can lose.
Even the Ngannou Fury fight.
Do you know what I mean?
Doesn't have a chance. Like, drops him. Probably won that fight.
I would have never said to you Ngannou was gone. I know. I believe Ngannou won that fight as well.
Yeah.
Like, crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's a mad sport. Such a. I don't know what it is. Football nowadays, I don't know if it's just getting older, but it doesn't have the same, like, I know Craig was never a fan.
90 minutes of divas.
But yeah, like, in fighting, it is literally that. It's like you could have a 5 rounds could be going domination one way, and then the last round, one punch, one kick.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
Last second, you know what I mean? Like, it could
and it's over.
happen at any time. Like, it's crazy. That's why I love it so much. You just can't tell.
As a dad now, obviously knowing what you knew growing up, and obviously your kids are daughters, you were a young fella growing up in the flats and all the rest, but I know a big thing for you growing up was almost being put in situations where it was tough or challenging, like your ma trying to shield sending, let's say, from some of it, and you'd be like, no, you have to let him get in there. Do you try to bring that through with your daughters? Like, how do you manage that?
No, I'd like I'd like both of them to know how to defend themselves, I'd say. Do you know what I mean? Just know a little bit, just in case it never happened. But the fight now, it's a hard life. Like, it really is a hard life. It's not easy. Like, the likes of McGregor's a unicorn. You know what I mean? Like, someone like him, or even to make that much money off of fighting, like, it's very, very hard to make good money off fighting. You have to be the top of the top to start making good money off fighting. Do you know what I mean? So it's probably not the best career choice, I'd say. You know what I mean? But if it's something you love to do, chase it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's great to have examples like you who are doing it, flying a flag for what is possible. And like, in the Muay Thai world, there's not anyone else's name in Ireland who comes to my mind other than Craig's. Like, he was
we know Dan O'Toole, actually.
Dan O'Toole, as well. Yeah. We have a few in our gym. So Stefan Crowdy is another lad in our gym. He's making his one championship debut this weekend.
Sick.
He's fighting the lad I fought.
No way. That fought 2 weeks ago.
Revenge.
I seen you share that actually on your Instagram. Yeah,
you come out from under the ring halfway through.
Yeah. Tag him in.
But there's other lads. There's 2 lads in Belfast. Gym called Lanka, Gareth Smiley and Noel McGreevy, very good fighters. There's Jay Council, another lad, he fights out 309, he's only down the road. He now played in Outburst Pal.
Yeah.
He just be with them. I'd say you probably know him as well. There's a lot of good fighters coming through now from Ireland, but again, not as much recognition.
Yeah. It's coming.
Yeah, it's getting there.
I wanted to ask you, I don't know if you feel comfortable being called a warrior, but when the kind of life that you live is as close as you can be to a warrior nowadays.
Like, apart from on the keyboard when you're...
Yeah. If this was ancient Rome, you'd be in the fucking Coliseum.
Oh yeah, I'd like to think that. I'd like to think that's what I was in a past life or something. I
was probably a postman or something. But I wanted to ask you, how would you describe the warrior's mentality?
Oh, that's a good question, to be honest with you. Yeah. Like, a warrior could be like anything in my perspective. Do you know what I mean? Like, someone playing battling cancer, like that's probably a true warrior. Someone fighting, like, people fight because they like to fight. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Different circumstances or different reasons.
Yeah.
I think if you're gonna be like a martial artist, be true to the martial art. I think live the life, don't live the party. Do you know what I mean? Don't only do it for the profile picture. There's a lot of that nowadays. You have a lot of fighters that they'll get fights, they'll put the profile picture up and they'll pull out. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, right.
Or like they won't want to put the graft in. They take this whole philosophy of make a flowy, keep smart, train smart, not hard.
Yeah.
You don't need to train hard. You're running your body into the ground, like that type of stuff. I don't think that's all real. I think, like obviously you can overwork and overtrain, but to an extent. Do you know what I mean? Like I think that's what's missing nowadays.
Yeah.
For fighters.
Yeah, I think the only UFC fighter I know who like would promote a similar kind of thing is Sean Strickland, where he's like every day just hard spar, just go for it.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't spar every day. Brain damage.
Well, you see,
maybe
but it's becoming more and more like that.
Yeah.
Train smart, not hard. Do you know what I mean? It's sports science now.
Yeah.
But sports science wasn't there blading 10 years ago, and all these fighters were still fighters. Do you know what I mean? Now there's elements to use and there's elements to take away, but hard work should be the key.
Yeah. It has to be underlying everything. So people want to train smart, not hard, but to get to a stage where you're allowed to train smart, you have to put in years and years
of work.
Yeah.
I agree with that though.
Like a GSP or whatever, like, you know, he's very much into like listening to the body and all that stuff. Like, but that cunt's been training since he's fucking
since he's 6 or something.
Doing years and years and years of work nobody sees, and then they hear a little clip of him saying train smart, not hard. Like, that's right. Got a skippy session today. Yeah, give the body a break.
Go for a fucking coffee and
you haven't trained in 3 weeks. Fuck.
You said there, be true to the martial art. What do you mean by that?
Depending on what martial art you're doing, do you know what I mean? So like, if you're jiu-jitsu, be true to your jiu-jitsu. If it's Thai, be true to the Thai. Like, don't fade away from it, you know what I mean? Like, obviously there's styles in Thai like that, but not just blading, getting into just have a knock, do you know what I mean?
Right,
Learning the martial art also, like, go to Thailand, learn a bit of culture.
Okay.
You know what
Be
I
a
mean?
student of it,
like, submerge yourself in it.
That's deadly.
Yeah. Have you spent much time over there? Like,
went over a couple of years back before I fought the Singnam fight. I spent 6 or 7 weeks over there, and then this time, and then we're back over now on 28th of January. We have a couple of kids fighting over there.
deadly.
We have kids fighting on the World Championships.
Anything interesting about the Thai culture that you brought back with you? Or?
The field. The field's great. The culture, they're all Buddhists, so they're all fairly soft and placid. Well, there's a lot of Muslims over there as well, but it's more of a Buddhist country, so they are more placid and they're more like relaxed. Do you know what I mean? The culture, the people are lovely over there. They are a really good culture. Like,
not many Buddhists in Liberty House.
No.
People call it Buddha, maybe. Buddhist. You know what I mean?
Could you see yourself living out there?
In Thailand?
Yeah. No, you're Dublin.
Yeah, I'm a homeboard, yeah.
Love it.
Well, if you had to, like, obviously this is a tough question, but if you had to break down your success to like three pillars, like what 3 things can Craig Coakley pass on to someone else?
Pillars as in like
for example, like
foundation,
dedication
or
this or that. What 3 things would you pass on to somebody else who wanted to go follow a similar path?
Dedication would be one of them. If you're not dedicated to what you're doing, you're probably never going to get there. Having a very, very good work ethic, that's probably the biggest for me. Again,
hard work beats
hard
talent.
work beats talent. Talent fails to work hard.
It's a mouthful, that one, isn't it?
I'm going to start writing that one down. But last, have fun.
Have fun.
Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people, they lose the fun in it as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Training can be very, very serious and it can be very monotonous. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, if you're not enjoying it, why the fuck you doing it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're going to fall out of love at some stage if you're not enjoying it. So, one thing I always tell fighters before they fight is enjoy it. Like, I know it sounds mad, but enjoy it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, after working this hard to get to here, why now make it so tense and so fucking...
Yeah.
There was a good one, Charles Sonnen put a good one out a couple of years ago on one of the Ultimate Fighters. He says, you stick a 2x4 plank in the room, right? You tell people to walk across the 2x4 plank. Everyone's going to do what it is, aren't they? You get that same 2x4 plank, you put it on 2 7-foot ladders. You tell people to walk across it then. how many people think it's going to walk across it?
Fuck all.
Yeah.
It's the same 2x4, but it's just a different circumstance, or it's a different environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fight's the same. Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing you're doing in the gym every single day. It's just in a different place.
That's some way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Uncle Shell.
He's good on it. He's good for your banger stuff that it does.
Yeah, some mad ones as well.
Yeah. He's a mad thing, he is.
I probably only have 2 more questions. And they're both similar, but in different circumstances. The first one would be just within combat sport itself. When Craig Coakley is said and done, what way would you like to be remembered?
For me fighting, like, a lot of people nowadays, it's about talking. Do you know what I mean? It's about how you are perceiving for how much of a talk aren't you are.
Yeah.
I just want to be known as a great fighter. Do you know what I mean? He went in, he gave it his absolute all every time he fought. He never left it outside. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nice. And then, same question, but for your daughters, what way would you like them to remember their father?
That's like daddy. Yeah. That's a good one. I want them to see me as I've never seen my father. Do you know what I mean? I want them to know that Dad's always there for them, always will be there for them, and everything that I've done and the positions I've put myself in is for them.
Nice.
That's sick.
Lead by example. Any plugs or shout outs you want to give for the gym?
Just
or
shout out to all my sponsors. I've quite a few sponsors that helped me throughout my career. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to shout out all my sponsors and a shout out to all my teammates and shout out to the lads for having me on. Thanks very much.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you coming on, man. It's been eye-opening. Like, these conversations are always so cool because you get people from different backgrounds, different situations, or different sports or whatever else. But it all boils back to like the same pillars of success, let's call it, every time, of like, be dedicated, be committed, don't half-arse it, throw yourself in. You're gonna fail. Like, you had the 3-5 losing, like these things that happen where
failure, I think failure is what teaches you. Do you know what I mean? You see fighters when they're winning, they don't change on. It's always the same. It's always the same. It's always the same. And then you see a fighter, they lose once and they want to change gym.
Yes.
They're not blaming themselves. You know what I mean? They're blaming their coaches. So, whereas you're failing on something, you should be learning. Like, why did I fail? What happened here to make me lose? You know what I mean? Don't look at whoever was with you. Look at what you've done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my thought on it. And anytime I've lost a fight, I've grew way more from it.
Love that. Craig, thank you, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. We've 2 fans sitting across you. We look forward to seeing you come back. Hopefully soon. The White Power Ranger makes his return.
Nice one, Craig.
Thanks very much, lads.
More than welcome.